kind of FU to the company, and many people unsubscribing from that particular platform also highlights a big kind of shift in people's energy and reaction towards this.
Awesome.
And of course, everything now is being met with distaste and disdain, and I think it's great. A lot of people said that Vietnam was ended because of the musicians of the time, like Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. There was a riot at Kent State, 1970, May 4th, where all the students were out yelling "End the war" and the war, and throwing rocks at the National Guard. The National Guard opened fire and killed 4 kids. Four adults at that point. And then Crosby, Stills,
I was using this Wolfang 4K GoPro clone as the close-up camera, but the close-up camera took a shit, and for some reason my side view camera is not working now. What the fuck is going on? Come on.
This clip from Tucker Carlson, episode 49, the Dana White interview. How many of you watched this? Okay, it's basically just an ad for Bud Light, where Dana White says, I'll just grab a random
Christ. This is what happens when you fucking use extension cords that don't... I legit am trying to use a USB extension cord. A USB cord to get that fucking camera to work. I swear it's the extensions. It has to be the extensions. The extension cables. Alright, so as I was saying, I was using this to do close-ups, but it shit the bed. Well, it works. It's too finicky to work with OBS as an actual webcam. You got to do like a whole bunch of different options and this, that, and then it decides, and it will only work when it decides to work. So what I'll do is I'll end up probably turning this into little mini action camera thingy that I use for doing regular stuff with. Alright, so I've gone ahead and moved the compressor onto a separate power brick, so fingers crossed, and I'll test it. Okay, so both cameras are working just fine. Good, so that's that. Alright, first things first, I'm gonna go through, take a look at my wet palette. I know I've got to rehydrate it. No, I don't. Okay, cool. But I will throw this old sheet away. I can get fingers grip. Seriously, bruh. Jeez. So my fingers just refuse to work now. I'm that old, my fingers are going on strike. Alright, so we're going to grab another... All this is just grease paper, just fancy grease paper. You can actually use grease paper if you want. I just buy these in the pre-cut sheets. Easier to deal with that way. Alright, so we're going to flip these over. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to tackle this in a way that would be more efficient. Now, most people would start on the skin, and I would normally do that, but because I'm going to be breaking out the airbrush to base coat the majority of their uniforms, it's just easier for me to paint the skin last. So that's what I'm going to do. So I will be doing some painting here in a bit, but for now what I want to do is go over these miniatures and see which areas are going to need a lot of detail, because with some I'm not going to need much of anything. Alright, so do I need to bust out the putty? What I mean by that is I use blue tack as a masking technique. Hope the audio is okay for you guys. Where did I put the putty? Where did I put the putty? Okay, those are my 40mm bases. Okay, that's the combat cards and the decals for the vehicles, which I'll be needing later. I really hate the winter because it's really fucking cold, and I can't complain because why the hell not? Alright, so there's that. Let's take a look. I do have a camo card here, and I'm basing it on these guys right here. That is a Panzer Grenadier. You can tell because he's got the Panzerschreck, and the helmet he's wearing, the marking on his helmet tells me that he is a Panzer Grenadier, plus the fact he's wearing a Auckland Leafs schmuck. So that is not what we're painting. We're painting this guy here. He's early to mid. Basically, it's the standard German uniform, and so I want to base that on here. So we're going to use standard, which is German field grey for the uniform. There's dark blue, cold grey. Cold grey is a good makeup if you don't have the other grey. That's basalt grey. I've got so many bloody greys. It's German camo black brown. It's used for boots. Verdun's German field grey. German field grey. There we go. Boom, I knew I had one. And of course we've got beige as well. We also have dark green, so we can mix that up. We are doing a early Luftwaffe. There you go. That's good for a color change, a texture palette change up. And then we got German green grey, which I might use on some of the other infantry. But the officer is getting the German field grey base. So yeah, let's give this a good shake. In fact, I'm going to grab my paint shaker if I can find it real quick. Okay, found the paint shaker, and it's even plugged in. Das ist gut. Alright, so I'm going to whack that over and then just give it a shake. I do apologise about the sound. The paint shaker is going to be loud. Nothing I can do about that. Alright. So we've given our paint a bit of a shake, which is always good. You always want to give your paints a shake. And we've got our reference camo card here. So I'm going to put that there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bust out my better airbrush, which apparently still had primer in it from last night. So I'm going to have to run some H2O, some water through this bad boy. Nothing but lovely steam. Nice. I'm gonna take the cap off real quick and double check something. This is just my dump cup. Alright, so it's cleaned out nicely. Just give it a quick look-see. And so what I'm going to do now is I will run some thinner. I've got another bottle of thinner somewhere. That's a brand new bottle. Where's my other bottle of thinner? Best cleaner. Thinner. There it is. Right, and I do specifically use Vallejo products. Mostly just because I just like Vallejo products. I'm going to do a bit of a backwash. Alright, there was that. And so now I'm just going to run it through. Run water through to lubricate, now to clean up. Now we're running the clean through to get any loose particles out. And I'm running the trigger back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Hey Pandemics, how you doing? Hailing like a motherfucker. Yeah, it's raining and hailing here in Reading too. So this is why I'm doing this and whatnot. And so I I was contacted by a new ISP. So what we're going to do, we're going to be using German Field Grey, as I showed you on the contact sheet. Now this paint is normally, it is pretty thick, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit it with a little bit of airbrush thinner, and we're going to do a little bit of a gumbo wumbo. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of my older brushes, and I just use it as a mixing brush, and so that way our paint is a good solid mix. Okay, and now the first thing I do is I'm going to test it. Okay, it's powdering out nicely, it's not sputtering or anything. So we're going to hit the miniature with our German Field Grey. And this is why I didn't paint the skin, because if I was to paint the skin and then go through it again, again, the miniatures are available. I will and can print them for you for a fee. I usually charge a good rate. Turnaround's pretty quick. And these are from Trenchworks. There we go. Now you're starting to see a nice bit of detail. Unfortunately, I'm sorry about the close-up webcam. It's the best one I've got right now. I also need to get a new compressor. My current compressor's, struggling to keep up with the paints I use. Well, it's not really the paints, it's the fact that the compressor does get used a lot, as you can tell. So we're going to grab our bolt action instrument, and I'm basing these on, like I said, I'm basing these on an actual, the Commander you just saw me airbrush. He's based on one of my favourite World of Tanks voiceover commanders, Von Krieger. So so back. There we go. Usually when the paint starts to come, there becomes less paint, more air. One of your air nozzles is clogged. So like I said, because I'm doing a fictitious German army, I'm not basing it on a real German army, so relax, there won't be any Aryan Brotherhood markings or anything like that. Saw your yesterday stream and it's kind of tad annoying that they decided to fuck the server over like 5 minutes after you start. Yeah, that's Star Wars Galaxies for you though, mate. It's fine. That's Star Wars Galaxies for you, brother. Don't forget, guys, we do have a merch store now. There's a UK one and a US one. The second merch store link is the UK merch store. So it's in UK prices and they're UK based, which means you will get your products sooner if you're in the UK or Europe. The first link is my North American merch store. Again, it's pretty much the same merch, only they're priced dependent upon the state that you're in, things of that nature. All money that I make through donations or whatnot, if when you make the donation and you say put it towards buying a can of Coke or whatever, I will put it towards buying a can of Coke. If you say in the donation put it towards buying, whatever, that's where it's going to go. Okay? But if you don't tell me where you want the donation to go, I will put it towards what I feel is necessary for the stream quality, things of that nature. Or I may just, go ahead and use it for other means. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna, I'm not thankful. Of course I'm thankful. I'm even thankful for you guys just hitting that like button. If you can, guys, please just smash the like button. Okay, that tells the YouTube algorithm that you enjoy it. Just smash the like button, and leave a comment. In the live chat as well as after the stream. Of what you want to see. Streams wise, games wise. I am getting back into Enlisted. The tech tree has me a little bit kerfuffled because they're doing it via tiers now. I.e. you got tier 1s, tier 2, tier 3, up to tier 4. So it's very War Thunder-ish. You can tell the War Thunder devs are starting to have words with the guys. I only would like to see the AI infantry actually fucking shoot. That's all. Of course, my close-up, my face cam is frozen. Sorry about that, guys. Like I said, I've got to figure out why it keeps doing that. I really do. I've got to figure out why it keeps doing that. So I literally have to go down to the USB cord that's nowhere near the compressor. I honestly thought it was the compressor putting too much juice. And so the PC was struggling to power the webcam, But it's not. It's not. There you go. I'm back now. Hi. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that the USB extension cables that they're hooked up to are just bad. But they're all I've got right now, and it's the only way I can get the webcams to reach the positions that I want them to be in. And I refuse to, what's the word? I refuse to move a whole bunch of stuff around just so I don't have to use a USB extension cable. Clueless. Yeah, I'm logging in the morning, I'm mind boggled. Yeah, the research tech tree is kind of arse backwards. Like the fact that you can mix and match your units now. There's no more campaigns. So if you leveled up your early war Germans like I did, that's all tier 1 stuff. But the moment you put one of your premium crew guys that you've got for being a beta tester like I did, they're all tier 3. So you've now got tier 1s fighting tier 3s simply because you have one tier 3 unit in your army. So I've got an entire tier 3 lineup. I'm going to be working on an entire tier 1 lineup. I'm mostly going to be using the tier 3s because they're premiums to just power grind out certain vehicles that I want. Like the fact that I've figured out the Junkers sweet spot for dropping its bombs. So especially the 50 kilogram ones. Whoop, he went for a spin. Especially the 50 kilogram ones. The 50 kilo ones, you drop them about 1,000 meters plus from your target in a full nosedive with your air brakes on, obviously. And I was averaging 1 to 2 kills per bomb run of 4 bombs, so that's not too bad. A 2 to 4 ratio. It's maybe 25%. I'll take it at 25%. Because we were getting, if you watch the video, the vlog, you'll see what I'm talking about. It took me about 4 or 5 actual guesstimates to figure out, plus the fact that 50 kilo bombs. Okay, for some reason the stream froze on me. 1 second. Hello? Am I still live? Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm still live. Hope I'm still live. Anyway, so I'm dialing it in, and once I unlock the D5, Junker D5, that gets 250 kilo bombs. I will be able to knock out tanks like they didn't exist. They won't even. All they'll hear is the, and they'll know what fear is. You know what I mean? they will hear that Yunker scream, the Screaming Eagle scream. They'll hear that whistle, which, by the way, was not initially put on the plane to intimidate civilians. It was initially put on the plane to warn German infantry that I'm about to bomb that area, Scarpa. That was the reason why they initially put them on the plane. Had nothing to do with fear factor. Although eventually the Luftwaffe realised it was actually intimidating the local British populace. So, yeah. Now I'm just cleaning out the airbrush. 104E J1, it should be the J1 anyway, don't it? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the E gets the 75mm howitzer. Oh great. Both cameras froze up that time. Jesus. Sorry about this, guys. Apparently I've got to buy better extension cables. Both these webcams are on USB extension cables, and if this keeps up, I'm probably gonna have to call the stream. I don't want to, but I'm probably gonna have to. This one is all the way over here, nowhere near anything vibrating. So I have no idea why the close-up camera keeps freezing. In fact, I think I can. Yeah, let me try something real quick with the close-up camera. Because it's close enough to this front USB port. Then again, this computer does need a lot of maintenance to keep it still going. Poor thing. Alright. So, front cam, that's this. Close cam, that's you. Deactivate, reactivate. Alright, so hopefully, this will be a test. If the close-up camera doesn't freeze, but the face one does, like it just did, that tells me it's extension cables. It's in the extension cables. So that tells me it is definitely the extension cables. So the face cam's just going to have to go for today. I'm sorry, guys. But the front cam's just going to have to go for now. Where's the... Yeah, bruh. Indeed. Indeed, folk. Indeed. Cup spawned in, yeah. I'm just cleaning out the airbrush. Still paint coming out. Alright, one more whack with the cleaner. See, my compressor doesn't have a tank. So it's having to supply air on demand. And the problem with that is, if you overdo it, you will start to get moisture in the airline, because compressing air produces moisture. This is why drag racers don't realize this until they try to empty out their intercooler and nothing but water comes squirting out. They're like, where the fuck is... They think they've got a leak in their radiator or something. It's not that. It's the fact that your turbo is compressing air so fast that the act of doing so does produce moisture. It produces water. Alright, so air compressor's done for now, so we're going to switch over to the wannabe close camera, and we're looking at Von Krieger. So what I'm going to do is to make some of the highlights pop and whatnot. I'm actually going to give it its first wash. Now, what was that? That's the gloss. I don't want the gloss. That's new oil. You know what? Xenon oil. No, not serum sepia. Sepia would give more of a red tone. I guess we could go with the watered down lemon oil. What I'm doing is I'm giving this guy a. I'm gonna make some of the highlights and details pop. Cobra, what you say Star Wars games? Okay. What's your say top Star Wars games? Top Star Wars games. In what way? A game like repeat gameplay or storyline or because that question is open to a lot of interpretation. Also, Jar Jar or Watto.
Mr. Say credits, what do find?
No, they won't. What, you think you're some kind of Jedi waving your hand around? I'm a Titarian. Mind tricks don't work on me, only money. God, it's been a while since I've had to do Watto's voice. So now we're just gonna... Don't need much, I just need a little bit to pull out the creases in the uniform and things of that nature. Thank you. Yeah, anyway, to answer your question, the Battlefront series is always a good, fun time shooter, if you just want to have some fun and mess around with your mates. Story arc-wise, KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, no questions, KOTOR 1 and 2, the whole Darth Revan saga. Which is kind of what Star Wars Galaxies tried to do. Because if you go to Mustafar, you actually see some references to Knights of the Old Republic on Mustafar. You also see references to Episode 3, where Anakin and Obi-Wan fight on Mustafar. Now all I'm doing is I'm just giving it a quick little wash to bring out what areas I'm going to need to detail. Because I'm getting old, my eyesight's going. If that makes sense. Plus it will desaturate the green so that I can use a pure German camo green for a highlight. Alright, so Von Krieger is at stage 2. Similar gameplay too, yeah. So like I said, Star Wars Galaxies is just an all around fun time for me. Everyone complains about the traders because they have to, when you're a droid engineer, okay, you have to make everything from the circuit boards to the servos to you have to make damn near every part. You want that droid to see, you've got to make his brain, you've got to make his eyes, you've got to make everything. And depending on his combat ability and his prowess, depends on the sample of resources you get. A lot of traders, believe it or not, spend more time out in the wild sampling for resources like copper, steel, aluminum, things of that nature to make better parts for a droid than they do actually sitting at a workbench making droids, because we'll make a manufacturing schematic and then go over to a factory and then just put the schematic in the factory and the factory makes the droid for us. Well, it can make a crate load of them, if that makes sense. So I can set my schematic to make 100 battle droids, but I've got to have all the resources in the ingredients hopper, obviously, for the factory to make every single one of those battle droids to the exact same specification. and then I can choose. And the thing is, a player can only control one droid at a time, including a droid engineer, which makes no sense. And I know why. It's a balance factor, so that droid engineers don't have like an army of battle droids and just run and hide and let the battle droids do all the fighting for them. I get it. It is a balance factor, but I still think because there are some quests that you have to do as an engineer that will get you killed unless you've got decent teammates and squads and whatnot. Because case in point, if you're a yeah. Oh, help reverse. Yeah. So, case in point, if you are an engineer of sorts, doesn't matter if you're a droid engineer, domestics, a shipbuilder, or whatever, okay, and you have to go to a planet like Mustafar, or Yavin, or Dathomir, where all the wildlife wants to kill you from the moment you land on the planet, and you're an engineer who has no combat skills. See, we don't even get the ability to heal ourselves. Okay, unless we get the heroic jewelry set, in which case we get a minor heal that takes 15 seconds to cool down. Okay, but we still get no combat abilities. We still get no abilities to defend ourselves in combat. I mean, yeah, we can wear armor and stuff, but we get no bonuses to wearing any specific armor. Case in point, if you're a spy, you get a bonus to wearing recon armor. So your recon armor, okay, gives you extra bonuses to not getting hit and things like that and whatnot. Well, traders don't get that benefit. It doesn't matter what armor we're wearing. We don't get any benefit. Yes, we can wear armor for basic protection, but we can't truly. And yet, I figured out a way on a droid engineer. I figured out a way to actually kill legendary elder Jedis with my droid engineer. Can't feel my legs. I need maintenance. Yeah. Well, how I did it was I had my other combat toons. Befriend their droids to my droid engineer. So that means I can command their droids as long as they stay alive. If they die, their droids go poof. Okay? So there's a downside to doing this. Okay? So I log on my alts. Okay, so I've got my Mando, I've got my medic, I've got my my actual combat classes. Okay, and they all go droid befriend, droid engineer. So I then set up a macro so that if I say A, they attack. If I say F, they follow. Things of that nature. So I reprogram their command structures so that if I macro and say A, all the droids attack the same target. And if I say F, they all follow. If I say, 3, they all use their combat skill level number 3. And because they're all this is one of the downsides, because they're being commanded by a combat player, they're only level 60. They max out at level 60. If a droid engineer, okay, or an engineer period, okay, has control of a droid, a combat droid, it can go up to level 90. So if I summon all of my traders and all of my combat classes, get ent buffs and a few other things and whatnot and some food, I can actually then command 8, 4 of which are level 90 and 4 of which are level 60 to attack a single player. And all I've got to do is shoot my weapon at them once. And then run away. And then the droids will eventually kill the player. And the combat kill counts towards me. Lived the Star Wars universe in the Empire period. Feel you would have been making droids left them over parts in Clone Wars, making secret army. Hey, shh. Don't give my secrets away, man. Don't give my secrets away. No, in Star Wars Galaxies, I am Imperial on all of my toons. Every single one of them are Imperial. My highest level character is a Sergeant Major in the Empire, and it's actually a domestics trader. She makes food and clothing, and her name is Mistress Death. She is in space. She's an ace pilot, which means she gets access to tier 10 ship equipment and whatnot. And if I'm in space, she will kill you before you think twice. On the ground, she's squishy. Because she's a trader. Okay? So, if you catch me on the ground, yeah, I'm screwed. I catch you in space, you're dead. Alright, so when I get back to Von Krieger, you'll see what I'm doing when I did the wash now. Okay? Because you can see that I'm making all the details, like the folds in the clothing and whatnot. I'm making it pop now. And the reason why is because they're then later on set up for me to do edge highlighting, things of that nature. Or even just a dry brush. I could just dry brush these guys. Paint the skin, pick out certain things like the boots, the helmet, the gun, and call it good. These are just for a simple quick tournament play. I'm not planning on winning any kind of awards or anything. I just want to play a couple of games of bolt action. It's just I don't want to take my entire full Panzer regiment. Case in point, I've got a Tiger II. This is an entirely 3D printed Tiger II. Like I said, it's entirely 3D printed. This is actually soft drink cans that I've cut up and turned into side skirts. Fuel canisters 3D printed, oil canisters 3D printed, jerry cans are 3D printed. The tanks are all majority 3D printed, with the exception of the aluminum on the front for the damaged panels. The turret again is hollow and 3D printed with an MG42. What do you think of those Twi'lek slaves Watto sold you? Well, they tasted good to my Rancor. Speaking of, I have to log into Star Wars Galaxies here later on and check on my pets that I'm cooking. So in Star Wars Galaxies, you used to be able to just befriend a pet in the wild. You know? Case in point, using as a beast tamer. Well, they removed beast tamers as a class and made it a generic class that anyone could be. So if you only wanted to just be if you just wanted to make clothing and didn't want to bother about food, you could then take those expertise points and put them in Beastmaster and become a Beastmaster tailor. I've actually got a medic who doesn't care about buffs. He doesn't care about buffing. He doesn't care about healing. He's got heals, and he can use his heals in a pinch. But he's mostly a Beastmaster. All of his pets are level 90 with 4 tier of skill, and they pull aggro from him even while he's healing. So I can be in a group and pseudo heal, but the moment I send my pet, even the Jedi tanks can't pull aggro from my Corellian Sludge Panther or my Crystal Rail Snake, because of the way of how much damage they do per second. You are considered average if you do about 1,000 points of damage per second. You're considered average. My pets alone do 12. I think it's like 2,100 and change. Just from basic attacks. Basic attacks. I'll let Shakti know. Fuck Shakti, I don't give a shit about her. She's too busy trying to fucking screw a Padawan. Seriously. I don't know why Shakti even managed to make it to a Jedi Master. Besides, she died like a little bitch anyway, so I ain't afraid of Shakti. Fuck her. Now, Plo Koon, yeah, he was a boss, but he died like a little bitch in his Starfighter. And of course, there's people saying, "Oh no, Plo Koon didn't die." Yes, he did. If you watch, his Jedi Starfighter got shot. He was literally spiraling out of control and literally crashed crashed his ship into the side of a fucking Star Destroyer. He is dead. He's as dead as the fucking bugs on your windshield of your car. He's dead. He's brown bread. No amount of force powers will bring fucking Plo back. Right? He dead. Okay? He dead. He's dead, Jim. Okay? He dead. Cobra, would you live on Kashyyyk or Flukia? There have been... Twi'lek's homeworld is called Rylak. Not Twi'lek. Again, everyone's like, well, hang about, but they're called Twi'leks. Yes, they are called Twi'leks, but their home planet is Ryloth. So, no, I wouldn't want to live on Ryloth, because Ryloth was destroyed. Well, Ryloth's planetary... Ryloth's planetary orbit is decaying, which means that the planet will eventually end up looking like Mustafar. And that's because of the Trade Federation. The Trade Federation mined the planet so bad that its orbit was changed because they mined too much minerals on one side of the planet. It made the planet tilt. Right, I'm gonna let the wash dry on these guys. It's gonna take a while to truly dry, but you can see why I did it to Von Krieger, because now all of his little details are popping, you know, and that's what I wanted. So, and it means I'll be able to pick out certain details and whatnot. I'm gonna hop over to the other computer and restart the stream. Don't go anywhere, guys. I will be